Hey guys, this is Mrs. Rush, and today I'm going to go through with you notes on how to draw a tape diagram, draw or create a tape diagram. And tape diagrams, guys, are used to help us solve ratio problems. And we just finished our um, unit on ratios. Remember, ratios were when we compared two things like cats or dogs, hearts and stars, um, compared two things using a fraction, the two dots, which were the colon, or the word two. Okay, so you guys are all experts at ratios now. So now we're going to use tape diagrams to solve ratio problems. So that's actually going to be the first word that will go here. The tape diagrams are used to solve ratio problems. I'm going to put the word ratio right there. So I'm going to be going through these notes with you to help you fill them out on your paper. Here are the steps that we need to draw or create a a tape diagram. Okay. So step number one, we draw a tape, and I'm going to shorten this a little bit so I can fit it in. We draw a tape diagram for each part of the ratio. I'm going to highlight these so you know what to write. Draw a tape diagram for each part of the ratio. Okay. Step number two, we're going to count. Okay, make this a little shorter, this one too. We're going to count how many total pieces of tape there are. So how many boxes? Count how many total pieces there are. Okay, and this is the number that we're going to divide by. So, and divide the amount needed by this number. Okay, so step two, we're going to write down count how many total pieces there are and divide the amount needed by this number. Okay, great. I'll go back over the steps again. We have one more to do. Step number three, use the diagram to figure out the new totals. The word new and then totals. And this will make much more sense, guys, when we go through the examples together. Okay, great. So let's go over again. So tape diagrams are used to solve ratio problems. Draw, here are the steps. Number one, we're going to draw a tape diagram for each part of the ratio, and you'll see what that looks like in one sec. Step two, count how many total pieces of tape there are and divide the amount needed by this number. And step three, use the diagram to find out the new totals. Okay, let's do our first example. It's a little smaller. Okay, so the problem says, example one, a pet store has 3 cats for every 5 dogs. There are 40 animals, so that's like total, 40 animals in total. How many are cats? So first we have to figure out what our ratio is. Remember, we're comparing two things. The two things we're comparing here are cats and dogs. So our ratio is 3 cats for every 5 dogs. So if you were writing a ratio normally, it would be when we used to do this, and you don't have to write this, guys, but when we did that, 3 to 5. Okay, that's our ratio, 3 cats to 5 dogs. All right. So guess what? I already did step one for you because step one is draw a tape diagram for each part. So normally you would have to draw 3 pieces of tape and then 5 pieces of tape. But look, I did this for you here. And pieces of tape, guys, when we create it, we'll just be making some boxes. So look, first I did 3 pieces of tape. 1, 2, 3. So that's going to represent the tape diagram for the cats because the cats was 3. And let me see if I can put this right on top here. We'll write cats, or you can write it since you have a pencil or pen on the side. It's just easier for me to type right there. So this is the tape diagram for cats because it says 3 cats, so I have 3 pieces of tape. And then 5 dogs. Down here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 pieces. So this is for dogs. This is the tape diagram for dogs. Okay, let me just underline this one too. And that goes along right with what we've talked about, the ratios 3 to 5. 3 pieces up here, 3 boxes, and 5 down here for the dogs. Okay, so that's step 1, which I already did for you. But I just want to explain it, like and make sure you know why I did 3 pieces here and 5 here. Okay, step number 2 is count how many total pieces there are. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm going to put down here, there's 8 total pieces. Does that make sense, right? Because 3 plus 5 gives us 8. All right, perfect. So now the last step, well, first of all, this is what we're going to be dividing by 8. When you find out how many pieces of tape there are, that's the number you're going to divide by. Okay, so we're going to use the diagram to figure out the new totals. Okay, so we want to know how many are cats. So this is the tricky part. So you guys, up here it told us we had 40 animals. I'm going to highlight that. Okay, 40 animals. So I'm going to take the 40 and I'm going to divide it by this 8 because we just found there are 8 total pieces. 40 divided by 8 is 5. Okay, so guess what? We take that 5 now and we put the 5 in each piece of tape, each box. 5, 5, 5. And for the dogs too. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Perfect. Okay. I'm sorry that these are underlined. You do not have to underline these ones. I will get rid of that. Okay. So again, I took the 40 total animals up here. That's where I got 40 from the word problem. I divided by 8 because you divide by how many pieces there are total. And then I got 5. So then I take that number and put it in each piece of tape or each box. Okay. And now I can just figure out how many cats. All I have to do is add up all the numbers in the cat's tape diagram. Or you could multiply. But so you could just do 5 here. There's 3 5s, right? 5, 5, 5. So you could do 5 plus 5 plus 5. So there's 15 cats. You also could have done, some people like to multiply, guys. So you could have taken the 5 and done 5 times 3, which is 15. Okay. And just for fun, we could also figure out now how many dogs, too. How many 5s should we add up here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 equals 25. Or 5 times 5 is 25. Great. So your answer, how many are cats? You would say there are 15 cats. And there is how we use tape diagrams to solve ratio problems. And the more you guys do this, I think the easier it will get. We'll do a lot of practice with this. All right, we have one more example to do. It's on the back side, okay. This one we have to create the tape diagram. So you guys can draw it out, or I'll show you how to do it by inserting a little table, okay? So example number 2, a middle school band has 45 6th and 7th graders. So that's the total, okay? So there's 45 total 6th and 7th graders. So I'm going to highlight that for you. The ratio, look, so here's our ratio, guys. The ratio of 6th graders to 7th graders is 2 to 3. There's our ratio that we need to start, 2 to 3. Remember, look at the order that it's given. So the first number 2 represents 6th graders, okay? The second number, let me highlight that. And then the second number represents 7th graders, okay? They want to know how many 6th graders are in the band. Okay, so step number 1. Step number 1, guys, remember, is to draw the tape diagram for each part of the ratio. All right, this is what's a little tricky. So normally I would have you hand draw it. Let's try to do it with the, I'm gonna move it over a little bit. You can draw it if you have the paper with you in class today. You can draw it and just copy me. If you're typing it though, you would need to do, let me see, insert. You can go to table, and then I'm going to do it this way. So the first part of the tape diagram, the first part of the ratio is 2. So I'm going to do one that looks like this, 2. And that's pretty big. So we don't normally have to make it that big, but that's fine. So this part of the tape diagram will represent the 2 boxes are the 6th graders, right? Because it said 6th graders was 2. The other number of the ratio is 3. So now we need 3 pieces of tape for 7th graders. So now I'll go back up here. And remember, you can draw this and they don't have to be that big. So now I'll go insert, table. Now I'll do one with 3 because the other part of my ratio said 3, okay? So that's for the 7th graders. Okay, so there we go. Part 1's done. We set up and drew the tape diagram for each part of the ratio. 2 6th graders to 3 7th graders. Okay. Step number 2, we need to count how many total pieces there are, and that's the number we're going to divide by. So let's come down here. So if I count how many total pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so there's 5 total pieces of tape, or 5 pieces that make up both tape diagrams. Okay. So now I'm going to do the division. So I go back up here and I take that number they gave us, the total number, which was 45. There's 45 6th and 7th graders. So I'm going to come back down here. I'm going to do 45 and divide it by, remember, we divide by the pieces, the total pieces of the tape diagrams, the total pieces of tape, the total boxes, if you will. So we do 45 divided by 5, and that gives us 9. So now remember, we take this 9, and that's going to go into each box for each piece of tape. 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. And now we're able to find out, I think they were asking, oh, they want to know how many 6th graders are in the band. So remember, you just want to, the easy way to remember, you can just add up all the numbers in each tape diagram, or you can multiply, but I think adding might be good for today. So for the 6th graders, there's 2 9s, 9 and 9. So I'll do 9 plus 9, which equals 18. So there's 18 6th graders. And then for the 7th graders, it's 9, 9, and 9, 3 9s. 9, oops, sorry. 9 plus 9 plus 9 equals 27. 27 7th graders. And guess what? So you technically didn't even need to find the 7th graders because the problem just wanted 6th graders. It tells you right here, or asks you, sorry, how many 6th graders are in the band? So they just wanted this answer right here. This is technically what you would give them, 18 6th graders. Awesome. All right, guys, so we are done with the tape diagram notes. Again, I know this is the first day you're looking at it, so it might be a little tricky, but I definitely think the more we practice at it, the better you'll get. I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you soon. Bye.